Welcome back to Fill in the Gaps. I am Egg. Welcome back. Happy 2026, everyone. Sorry it's been a while since the last episode, but we are here. I moved into a new place out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and we have a very special guest today joining us from not where I'm living, not from Perth, but a little bit further, all the way from Sydney, in the most expensive place that you can possibly find in the world. Today's guest I interviewed one time for about 2 minutes at the West Oz Tattoo and Arts Festival. But other than that, we don't really know each other, but we're about to. Today's guest,
Yeah.
please welcome Celia Dunne Tattoos. How you going?
Good, good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here. It's been a little bit of back and forth with us going to record, and then I had a little loss in the family, and then we went to record again, and then I was moving, and then we went to record again, and then you were moving, but we're both settled kind of into our new houses. So, how's the
December's
new home
always a
going?
nightmare time to do anything. It's great.
Hmm.
It's like, it's kind of there. The mess is kind of like out of sight, out of mind in the study at the moment. So I'm just pretending it's all done for the meantime.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
very much
it's
what I'm
going
doing
good.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can only see this wall behind me, that's all right because in front of me is an absolute mess. Like I mentioned
Oh
before,
yeah,
there's
I'm looking at like
lawnmowers
my
with
TV
a few
cabinet and then like the
boxes.
couch there, and I'm kind of like, yeah, no, this is what my house looks like at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely. It's nice and lush and clean and pretty and all of that. Nice.
yeah,
Thanks for
of
being here.
course.
Before we get into it, please be sure to check out the website fitgpod.com and all socials at fitg_podcast. Um, Thank you everyone for being patient with the gaps between episodes. We're now filling in the gaps. But yeah, should be consistent from here on. Happy days. It's going to be fun. If you want to get on the podcast, reach out to me either Instagram or my email is on my Instagram, or just, I don't know, send me a letter or something if you can find me. Um, we'll start with some ins and outs for 2026 because, that's what everyone be doing. Do you want to start with a couple of ins and outs and we can go through them like one by one?
Absolutely. I wrote these down like a mere half an hour ago.
Nice. Not
I
when I
figured
asked you, obviously.
hey,
That wasn't when I asked you, obviously. I asked you like months ago and you just wrote it down. I
yeah,
didn't
you
just say
leave things
half an
you
hour.
leave things to the last minute and you work under pressure. That's always worked for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I decided to keep everything kind of tattoo related because I was like thinking and I
Hmm.
was like, what are my ins and outs? So I was like,
Okay.
I'll keep them related to the industry.
I
First
like
in
it.
is like a big one for me is joy and health because I've been like, I
Okay.
think I mentioned this when I was first talking to you, but I've been like really getting into in my 30s after like 12 years of tattooing, actually taking care of my body and realizing, oh, that is actually beneficial. My back
Hmm.
doesn't feel like shit after tattooing for a full day when I go to the gym and look after my body, and just generally having like a positive attitude and mindset towards everything. So that's a big one because it's a cliche, but then once you start putting it into practice, you're like, oh yeah, it is actually beneficial.
Hmm.
um Creation for creation's sake, which I think is a big issue for a lot of artists. I feel like since COVID and since like the industry slowing down a tiny bit, a lot of artists have been putting their energy back into like painting and drawing and their crafts and their hobbies. But I feel like pouring into that cup is just as important as pouring into tattooing and the craft itself, because by practicing drawing, practicing your painting, practicing all those other outlets, it goes back into your tattooing and makes you overall a better artist. So I think like regardless of where the economy or where your career or where anything's at, that's an important practice to keep kind of going.
Hmm.
When I was away just in Thailand for a month, because it was like the longest break I'd had since COVID, I had a month off. I bought a sketchbook and I was drawing every single day. And I was like, fuck. I'm like teaching myself like new methods, learning new things about my art and my practice that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't like been just sitting down and drawing for me, not just drawing for a client or for like a tattoo's sake. So I think that's just like an in for me that I really need to incorporate more, but like something that kind of goes for anyone in this industry as well.
Hmm.
My next in is boundaries with clients and saying no. Um, so I think it's like anyone, because it's such a personal job and you're spending so much time with your clients one on one, you're obviously trying to like have like good relationships with those clients. And you also like, there's that parasocial thing of like having yourself online and kind of like showing your personality more so in like this social media world where you've got to like show your face more, do like more reels and stuff about yourself, is just kind of like boundaries with your clients. And then also if they're kind of like taking advantage or stepping over the line a tiny bit, ghosting, anything like that, being able to say no and being able to like cut off clients when they're becoming a little bit too much, if that makes sense.
Yep.
um I think that's like a big thing for me, I find, because like I try to kind of like give myself my all to my clients and like do the most I possibly can for them, but then I find myself getting a bit drained in situations. So even though like those clients might be income, I'm like learning when like enough's enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's like at what cost? Like obviously you want the income, you
Yeah,
want constant cash flow, you want repeat clients, all of that. But if it's going to be, um, for your mental health sake, something that's going to be negatively affecting your life, it's not really worth that few $100 in the grand scheme
exactly
of things.
that. And it's putting into like what you're saying, like that cost effective thing where like, I don't know, I'll have like say I have a client booked in for like my day rate or something, and it's just being like really draining or like really stressful, or there's like a lot of back and forth, or they're canceling. I'm like, that's now no longer worth that day's time because I've been having like X amount of time wasted in the process. Just little examples like that where I'm like learning to kind of like protect myself, even though like I'm giving a lot of myself to others. And yeah,
Hmm.
again, applies to all tattooers. And then my last one would definitely be traveling to grow. As you know, I travel and I guest a lot for tattooing. And through traveling and through guest spotting and going to studios or conventions around the world, I've been able to grow and expand the most as an artist. And it's taught me a lot about myself, about my craft, what I'm interested in, what I want to pursue next. And I think that's like one of the best pieces of advice that I could give to any artist is that if you want to expand or grow as an artist, you got to get out of your comfort zone, go to new
Hmm.
places, go to places that might be a little bit scary or intimidating, even if it's just like an interstate convention or a convention in your own state. That's how you're going to grow and expand the most in your career. And yeah, just start us small and then just do more and more and more. And that's like the best thing that you can possibly do to expose people to your work, to your craft, and to what you want to do next. Um,
Nice.
that's my ins. My very short list of ins. My outs. Hating on a tattoo star as a personality trait. Um, I think this kind of just applies to other artists in whatever realm or field that they're in, putting down styles or putting down like new styles or things that they like disagree with, like whether it be like cyber sigilism or trash poker or something like that. Trust me, there's styles that I don't like either, but I
Hmm.
don't think you should be putting down shit that you don't like to boost yourself up. I
Hmm.
think it's ugly energy, and I've seen a lot of it, especially while the economy is like a little bit at the moment, and then like new styles are rising up, or like artists might be getting more bookings than other artists. I think it's a an ugly personality trait to be putting down others to boost yourself up. That makes
Yeah, I mean,
sense.
one of the outs that I had was tall poppy syndrome because Australia is
Yes.
so, so, so bad for it, not just with tattooing, with anything creative, really, or anyone
Mm,
just trying something new. There's always people that are just like, oh, nah, like it's shit because I do this or because I like this, that means that that's shit. And it's like,
exactly.
one of the ins off that is just trying shit because it doesn't matter. Like nothing matters in the grand scheme of things. Just like give it a go, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And if someone else doesn't like it but you do, just keep doing it. No one else's opinion really matters that much. So those are my ins and outs
Exactly.
of that.
No, and I completely agree. I think being open minded in any career field or wherever you are in life, but like especially tattooing, is the only way that you kind of like grow and move forward, and to be kind of like stuck in your ways and being like, no, this is right and this is wrong,
Mm-hmm.
is a very closed-minded attitude. And it's really shitty to be putting down others in the process, but it's something I would love to hopefully see less of in the future in the industry, but we'll
Fingers
see.
crossed.
Homemade tattoo aftercare. This is a big one for me. Um, Not hating on any like tattoo aftercare brands in particular, before I get myself cancelled, but I see like a lot of like, the little metal tins of like homemade salve with like
Mm-hmm.
beeswax or something. That's in the same category for me as home job tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And I see like these little jars being like sold or being recommended as an aftercare for a tattoo, and people are putting that on an open wound. It's really gross.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to buying things that are like medically tested and proven, and don't be, I don't know, putting some shit from someone's kitchen on your tattoo. Anyway, yeah, that is a big out for me. Um, okay. This one I'll explain myself on as well, is follow count being a deem of quality of artist.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of applies to, there's obviously been like the real big boom of like TikTok and Reels and all of that. Amazing. Really great way of getting your work out there for those that it works for, and kind of like boosts them, gets them clients. Like I find like it benefits me a lot as well, like actually kind of doing the content thing. Amazing. But I feel like it's really important to still value the integrity and the quality of your work as
Mm-hmm.
well. And those old school values of tattooing, because like clients don't know any better. And when they go to a page and they see like, I don't know, fucking 200,000 followers or something, they're going to be like, amazing, great artist. So I think like whilst you might be successful and that side of things, to always constantly be focused on growing and developing your craft, and doing that for integrity's sake and for your client's sake as well. Just because like I'm seeing like a bit of a trend of like these pages, because I'm only just getting into TikTok now. I've been way behind, and I've been like, okay, I'll start like just posting my reels on here and that. But I'll scroll past and I'll see like pages with like huge followings, which amazing, glad you're booked and blessed, but their tattoos are shit, and clients don't know any better. So just for your sake and your client's sake, just really focus on just constantly improving, constantly getting better. um Even though I myself, like when I do a tattoo, I'm like, okay, what could I be doing differently? What should I be developing? What should I be changing? What do I need to like implement into my practice that's going to make the experience of my clients better, and just like my experience as a tattooist better? It's something that I feel strongly about, just because tattooing is something that's so sacred and so permanent. So it's not a job to be taken lightly. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if you've got that responsibility as an artist, then don't take it lightly. Work hard for it and nurture it and take care of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, my final really big out as well. Something I
Yeah.
feel
Nice.
very passionately about.
And just off that whole follow account thing, the shit thing, like obviously, like you mentioned, social media can be such a good tool for finding great artists and like beyond tattooing, finding cool stuff. But there is a lot of shit, and the amount of people that I've seen on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, that have a bunch of followers because they are shit. And that's the whole appeal of them, is people being like, haha, look at how stupid this is. They get a bunch of
Yeah.
followers, and now all of a sudden they're getting work and everything. It's like, you gotta watch what you're doing. So, kind of based off that, one of my ins was doing your research, for clients' sake, researching your artist, researching what you want. Another in was not trying to reinvent the wheel with aftercare, kind of what you were talking about. Like, since I won't say since I've been getting tattooed, because I got told a few really shit tips for aftercare when I started getting tattooed when I
Mm.
was 16. But since I was about 18 or so, it's just been warm water, soap, and I can't remember what brand it is, but like the green aloe
The Dr.
moisturizer.
Pickles one.
I don't use the
Yeah.
Dr. Pickles one, but like the it's not Nivea, but like palm olive or something. The green aloe moisturizer.
Well, see,
That's
that's
all
the
that I
thing.
use,
Like,
and it
really
does it
basic
perfect.
formulas are perfect because, like, I work with Ink Nurse,
Hmm.
non-biased opinion, but like, they're fantastic because it's very basic, it's
Hmm.
researched, it's all things that are going to be good for the skin and kind of agree with all skin types. We don't need to be overloading a tattoo with fucking beeswax, this, like lavender oil, this, or whatever. You just need to moisturize it a tiny bit and take care of it. It's an open wound.
Hmm.
And yeah, clients don't know better as well. And I think that's like the real like key word with like key phrase with like all of these things is that clients don't know better. So don't take advantage of them not having the knowledge. Make sure you've got the knowledge to provide to them.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, nice. Um, and a couple of my other ones that aren't tattoo related. One of them's low key kind of shot at you, but you know, um, out matcha lattes. I don't understand matcha. Everyone talks about how much they either love it
I
or
don't
hate it.
get it either.
I'm out on
I don't
matcha.
get it.
Yeah, don't get it. The one that's a shot at you, and also shout out to my buddy Sani. Out is wearing gloves at the gym. I'm sorry, there's no need. Just deal with the calluses. You'll be okay unless you've got a genuine reason, which it looks like you might.
I usually have fake nails on and I like to keep my hands in good condition without calluses. And I use my hands every day as well, so I'd rather keep them callus free. I only got
Yeah.
into the gloves recently. I was shopping for gym supplies and I obviously like got them for that side of things, but I was like, that looks kind of cool because I like wearing like leather gloves and stuff anyway. So I was just like, fuck yeah, fingerless gloves at the gym. But each their own.
You sound like my missus because she doesn't go to the gym, but she always says she wants to go to the gym so she can wear the gloves because she looks like a Pokemon trainer. And I'm like, that's the most ridiculous reason to
Exactly.
want to go to the gym. But you
No,
know,
I'm
each to their own.
Pokemon
Each to their
trainer's
own.
mad. Good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. What would your starter Pokemon be out of the three?
Start a Pokemon.
Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or Charizard? I think it is. Right?
Probably a
Charmander. Yeah.
Charizard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am a little bit rusty with my Pokemon knowledge, so you're asking the
As
wrong
am I.
person.
As am I. That's right. You said you want to be a
Mm.
Pokemon trainer, so come on, you gotta be up with this shit, you know. Um, that was mostly my ins and outs. I had a couple of other ones, but we mostly touched on them, so should be good. One of the ins should be
Mm,
liking and subscribing to fill in the gaps. Haha. Okay.
that is a good one.
Yeah, right. I thought so. The next thing I wanted to quickly talk about is your entry into not just tattooing but art itself. So when we spoke last year, you told me that art was kind of always an escape from life, I guess. Do you kind of want to tell
Mm,
me what you mean by that and how art helped you, and maybe tattooing as kind of a more specific form of art?
yeah. I mean, I feel like anyone, obviously not everyone, but most people have some sort of escapism or some sort of constant in life that they turn to. And I feel like art and drawing was always mine. I mean, like all
Hmm.
kids, they start off drawing or doodling, and it's just kind of whether they continue on doing that into adulthood as well. And that was always a very big constant escapism for me. Um, I mean, like when I was younger, like everyone's had kind of like rocky childhoods and that. Mine was particularly bad. Like from like a house fire to going into foster care, things like that. And painting and drawing was always like the thing that was there when I needed it most. And then like no matter how like stressful or like turbulent life kind of got, that was my thing. I wasn't very good at school either, so like all other subjects apart from art kind of flunked in that sense. And then I started doing visual arts in uni, because that was the next kind of obvious path to choose. And I only lasted like 4 months in it just because have you done like uni and tape courses?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. because this, when I was doing the course, like I thought it'd be very kind of focused on what I wanted to do, but we were doing things like making cameras and doing like screen prints and stuff, which is all interesting, don't get me wrong. But I feel like I wasn't kind of going towards the goal that I wanted to go towards. And I
Hmm.
remember even bringing up with a lecturer that I wanted to start tattooing, and they were like, that's not a viable career plan. And I ended up dropping out after like 4 months. Also, just because I was living out of home and I needed to be able to pay my rent.
Hmm.
And uni takes up a lot of time, and I didn't have time to work. So I had to walk out and get a little hospitality job. And then up the road from the restaurant that I was working, there was a tattoo studio taking on apprenticeships.
Hmm.
So walked up there, got the apprenticeship, kind of went from there. As you can imagine, an apprenticeship like 12 years ago wasn't the best. It was in like the red light district of Adelaide. So
Nice.
yeah, when I look back, because I'm like 30 now, and then I look back at like me being there at like 17, 18, I'm like probably not the safest environment for a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely a huge exposure therapy and lesson into tattooing. And I really fought for it because I really wanted it. And I was like, fuck yes, like I've got the job that I want to have now. I want to be in this.
Hmm.
And I'm lucky to still be in an industry and still growing and learning and finding new ways to love it every day. One thing that I say to apprentices and artists alike is that if you love tattooing enough, it'll love you right back.
Hmm.
So if you put your all and all your passion and all your time and all your effort into that craft, it's going to reward you tenfold. And I feel like tattooing's one that will reward you with
Hmm.
equally what you put into it as well. So yeah, I bit of a tough kind of journey getting into tattooing. And then I moved to Sydney at the start of last year to change things up a bit. And it was just the fresh start that I needed. It's kind of like re-kicked in that inspiration and like vigor into like the job again. So stoked to have that fresh start with it as well.
Yeah, nice. So did you work in South Australia for a while before you went to Sydney, or is Sydney kind of where it all took off? And if you did work in South Australia, what did you notice was the main differences between like the demographic and the tattoo scene between South Australia and New South Wales?
Mm. No, I started in South Australia, so I lived there most of my life. I've only moved to Sydney. I was actually born in Sydney. I only moved to Sydney like a year ago, year and a
Hmm.
half ago. Um, but with the demographic in South Australia, because it's quite small there, I feel like if you've got like a style, like a rooted style that you're kind of known for, and like a loyal clientele, you will do quite well there.
Hmm.
But after 10 or so years there, it felt like I kind of tattooed everyone in South Australia by that point. And
Yeah.
especially around COVID, it started to really kind of quieten down. And I was kind of just like, what's like the next move? What's the next step from here? So I started traveling and guesting in different countries, in different states, just kind of trying to like branch out and see what else was out there. And then I was guesting in Melbourne and Sydney a lot, and then being kind of like, okay, well, I'm getting more of the work that I sort of want to do in Sydney, which is larger scale projects, clients who want to get like ongoing pieces rather than like flash pieces and that. So yeah, this is the place to settle, and luckily I'm glad I made the right decision. But yeah.
Yeah, nice. And within doing all of that travel, was there any state, city, country that stands out as one that I guess shocked you in a way, whether positively or negatively, or just something unexpected about the tattoo scene in that specific place? Is there anything that stands out?
Um, I mean, like in Australia, I feel like every state definitely has like a demographic that's particularly rooted to them. So, like for Sydney, for example, I feel like there's a huge Japanese scene, traditional
Okay.
scene, like some incredible artists in that particular style. I feel like in Melbourne, there's a lot of like incredible black and grey and black work artists. It seems to be very much that style there. Feel like South Australia, feel like it's a little bit of everything, but people are kind of like, I mean, just for me personally, are getting smaller stuff there. So it's more of kind of like your little flash pieces, fine line flash pieces, and that. At least that's what it was for me. I feel like out of the places that I've traveled in the world, the place that probably like excited me the most, like artistically, was New York.
Okay.
Because I feel, how do I put it? I feel like kind of anything went in a way that was really exciting. So, like any style or any kind of art medium or any sort of direction that you were taking was just wholeheartedly accepted. And there wasn't any of that kind of like gatekeeping that we were talking about before, being like, oh no, like this is the right way or the wrong way. It was kind of just like, you're doing like this new avant garde thing. Amazing, accepted. And it's a place that I'd love to go back to research and like develop my style even further.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's interesting because I mean, I've never been to the US. I'd love to once a certain
Mm,
someone no longer has a say in what's going on over there.
yeah.
I'm a massive basketball fan, so I'd love to go traveling there. But there are like a few New York artists that I follow on Instagram, and it is
Yeah.
interesting. Like I feel like a lot of what I see is micro realism kind of stuff in New York, but that may just be kind of what's popping up on my feed because I can imagine how like densely populated it is. So I'm sure there is kind of a little bit of everything, and like you said, anything kind of goes. But yeah, that's interesting. Have you been to many other spots in the US, or is it mostly New York that you go to?
Um, I was gonna say back to the microrealism thing. There are like some incredible microrealism and just fine line artists in New York. I feel like there's a lot of that in the US in general because it's kind of
Hmm.
where like fine line and microrealism was born. So a lot
Hmm.
of that's kind of trickled through. So you're 100% right in that sense. I went for a month. So I was in LA and then I went to Waco, Texas for a
Hmm.
convention. And then New York at the end of it. So I'm hoping to go back again this year. I'm a little bit scared, but that's
Hmm.
I was gonna say next year, but it's this year, so that's a this
Yeah.
year's decision.
Hmm.
I would like to go back to LA and New York and then maybe explore some other states while I'm there, but I'll give myself some time to decide considering the current climate of things. But yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yep. That's fair enough. And then just on your kind of style when it comes to your art and your tattooing, um, I guess for anyone that doesn't know of your work, I guess like darkish kind of like horror themes. Would that be a fair way to describe it, or have you got another way to describe it? And how did you develop those themes into your work, and where did that inspiration come from?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, it's kind of like my style and everything that like I've always been interested in. Like, when it comes to,
Think girly
li-
pop, like bows and all
yeah,
of that,
man.
bright
Oh,
colors.
don't get
Yeah,
me
yeah,
wrong. I'm not a hater for like girly pop shit either. Love that as well.
yeah.
Got
Who doesn't?
plenty of pop music in my playlist as well. But
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been drawn to literature, music, movie wise things of that theme. And
Hmm.
my work's developed and changed a bit over the years. Like I did like a lot of kind of black and grey classical artwork a little bit earlier on in my career because I was obviously drawn to like the gothic kind of symbolism and themes in that artwork as well. And I feel like it's very classical and timeless and beautiful. But then over time, I kind of tried to like incorporate more and more of my styles. So something that I was doing on the side of tattooing was taking like big classical frames, like your antique frames of like Mary and Jesus, and painting like metal lettering over the top. And I was doing that at conventions and doing like live painting. And then that sort of trickled its way into my tattooing. And now I've kind of like doing that sort of horror black and grey illustrative stuff, which is very much my artwork, but I'm doing like the ornamental and the metal lettering, and it kind of like all turns into this mess that's my artwork and like all the things that I'm interested in. But
Hmm.
Oh, like everything that like I draw and I tattoo is like inspired by things that I'm like interested in or doing at the time, whether it be like a book or a TV show, like Stranger Things. I was just like, spoilers ahead, but I was like, fuck, I need to tattoo a mind flayer really bad because that thing's cool as hell. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can find inspiration in anything.
Yeah, nice. And then something else that you touched on when we spoke was your horror fandom. Is that
Mm,
mostly movies? Is it more related to your art side of things? Because if you've ever listened to the podcast at all, I know nothing about movies. I know like no movies. I don't watch movies really. But there are a few like horror ones that I know of and that I have watched and storylines that I like Stephen King kind of vibes I don't mind watching. So is there
mm.
anything that I guess inspires you as an artist or things that you just like within that kind of fandom?
So you're like specifically talking about like horror movies
I
that
guess
I found like inspiration
anything
in?
that you like within that kind of space, yeah.
Yeah. Like off the top of my head, if I was to say like movies that I've like gotten inspiration from, like some of my favorites would have been I love movies and anything with kind of cannibalistic themes. There's something like really interesting of like the body horror and kind of like taboo of
Hmm.
that. So like some of my favorite movies are like anything in like the Hannibal universe, like the Hannibal TV series or like the Silence of the Lambs movies and that I find super interesting. Um, Bones and All, really amazing movie as well. That's quite a recent one, but it's kind of like a coming of age teenage cannibal love story. Another really good movie that's one of my favorites would be Possession. That's an older one with Sam Neill, and it's very body horror as well. It's kind of like a body horror about the breakdown of a marriage. But yeah, super super interesting. And I think the really interesting about horror is it can display themes like what I was just saying about like coming of age and then like a marriage breaking down and that things that are kind of hard to digest or things that are like really stressful for like the human psyche in a way that's a bit easier but still kind of shows the horror of it all. So
Hmm.
weirdly enough, like for humans and like people in general, I find it's like easier for us to digest these things when it's just like directly terrifying. So it's like a monster or it's like something paranormal rather than like the true reality of it. So I find that like horror we'll discuss like themes that are like horrific and scary and hard for us to digest in a way of just being like, it's just like a scary monster. Rather than like the reality of it, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yep. Yeah, nice. And then aside from the artistic side of things, and I guess aside from horror movies, is there other themes and stuff and fandoms that you enjoy, whether it is like movies, TV shows, all of that outside of the whole horror space? Is there other things that you enjoy that kind of don't come through in your art that are just maybe polar opposite?
Um, I mean, like, if we're talking about like TV series, as like I said, I was watching Stranger Things recently. Loved
Mhm. What
that.
do you think? Because I've never watched it, but all I saw online was people shitting on how bad the new season was.
I think people are haters. I think it was good. Like I definitely see like the holes in the story and that, but I feel like it's a thing of like you can't please everyone when you've got a fandom
Mhm.
that big, especially with Stranger Things. So there's going to be critics to all the different elements and the way that it ended. But I think it was overall an incredible series. I watched the finale on New Year's Day when I was brutally hungover. So I spent the day crying because it was like so emotional for me. Terrible way to start the new year. But yeah,
Mhm.
I find like that really interesting. I read a lot when I've got the time and I'll kind of purposefully read anything that I think is going to kind of pull back into my art practice. So I'm literally reading a book at the moment. It's just on the ground there called The Story of Black, which is very on brand, which is why I had to buy it. But it's about where the color black kind of fits into. all sort of themes, whether it be like racial transgression or art or horror or kind of
Hmm.
like waving flags in war and that, and why it's got like both like negative and positive connotations like throughout history. It's super interesting how like a color can kind of apply to so many like themes in life. So I've just started that. Um, but yeah, as you can see, and like as I'm realizing now, just saying it, I kind of take inspiration from all sort of stuff. Like, I mean, even another thing that I do a lot is I'll take photos of just like little nature elements. So like if I see like cool cracks in like cement or something, or I see like tree branches. When I was in Thailand, there were like all these beautiful like Frangipani trees or like big old trees with like the twisted roots and that.
Hmm.
And I was taking photos of those because I was like, oh, this just like kind of organic, like viney texture would look so good in tattoos.
Hmm.
So I'm constantly, yeah, just like hunting for like little bits and pieces on the way.
Yeah, nice. And are there specific authors that you enjoy reading if you're a bit of a reading fan?
Um, Haruki Murakami is a really good one. A Japanese author. Japanese author, yeah. Um, they're, how do I describe it? A lot of short stories, but they're very like simple themes and very kind of like human themes of like whether it be like a relationship breaking down or like a death or something like that. But they're very beautiful, easy to read stories. Um, I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, kind of trying to figure out obviously like a lot of like horror stories as well. Another one that I read recently was Carmilla, which is meant to be the first proper vampire story. So it was kind of what inspired Dracula, but it's about a girl. It's about a
Hmm.
girl vampire. And that was really interesting because it was kind of like, oh, this story is like exactly what Dracula is. Um, yeah, lots of horror on the shelf now that I'm looking, which isn't like really surprising. Lots of poetry, lots of non-fiction, so lots of history and autobiographies as well. But yeah.
I guess we'll get straight into the rapid fire questions and the would you rather's because I just thought of a new one that I can ask you. So you're going to get a lucky number four instead of
Oh,
the
surprise
usual three.
question. Yeah.
The surprise one is going to be if you could read someone's autobiography, dead or alive, whether they have an autobiography or not, whose would you want to read?
Shit. Trying to think of someone really mysterious who like keeps a lot of secrets to themselves. I'm gonna say Julian Assange. Just like rapid
I have
fire.
no idea who that is. So do you want
The
to?
WikiLeaks guy. I don't know if he's written an autobiography now. I'm sure there's a documentary or something on him. But anyway,
Okay,
he I feel like he's secretive, but there's also like a lot of news about him. I feel like that would be interesting.
I know who
What would
that
yours
one is.
be?
Or I don't know because I think the last time I read a book beginning to end was maybe when I was in like year four at school.
What was it?
I don't read. It was a series. I was going to say Adventure Time. It's not Adventure Time. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember each. There was like I think six books or so, and they're all different colors with like some mythical beast on the front. And it was like fictional.
Was it like a
But
dragon on the front?
one of them had
The
a dragon. The green one had like some like crocodile-looking dragon kind of thing.
I
I
think
found them again recently because I saw someone post about how they used to read them, and I was like, I completely forgot that they existed. But I can't
yeah.
for the life of me. I'll find it in the post edit and I'll put it on the screen. But
I was gonna say as well, I'm gonna remember it once we're off the podcast, but that's unlocking like a little core memory thing as well. I wanna know what that
yeah,
is.
yeah. But I did somewhat read. This was maybe like 2 years ago. I bought a book that I wanted to read because I kind of want to read sometimes, but it's just like with ADHD and I'm not medicated. Like I just can't do it. That's why I listen to podcasts. I can't do the reading thing.
Mm.
I can read, just so we're clear on that, but my missus will tell you otherwise. But there was a book that I got, and it was like how to watch basketball like a director, artist, poet, blah blah blah, whatever it is. And I started reading that. And the first chapter was amazing, but the problem with reading stuff about basketball and all that is I'm such a nerd for all of it that I pretty much know like 95% of the history of basketball itself. So
Yeah,
every
it's
time
your
I was reading, I wasn't
hyperfixation.
really learning anything. It was just interesting to read. So I couldn't really get going into it after that. If I had to choose an autobiography, it would be pretty tough, but it would probably just be a basketball player that I enjoy. So maybe like Vince Carter, because he's my favorite basketball player of all time. So it would be interesting. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, yeah, it's got to be like kind of your hyperfixation thing to
Mm.
sort of take your interest in. But I was going to say, if you like, you prefer audio and like listening to audio books, there's this thing that I
Yeah,
tell
so I listen
anyone with
to
ADHD.
podcasts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say there's this little app thing that you can do on your phone because I find that sometimes I need to multitask, but it's for I asked ChatGPT how to do it, but it's for visually impaired people. So Siri will actually enunciate the words on the screen. So
Hmm.
if there's like a book or like an article or something, and you're like, fuck, I can't read all of that, you just click this thing and then it starts reading it to you like a podcast or an audiobook.
Cool. Next one. What is your favorite holiday of the year?
Um, I'm gonna obviously Halloween, but I was going to say I like Christmas not for Christmas's sake, but I like the opportunity to have a break and be able to like
Okay.
see everyone. I like the kind of like what comes with the Christmas day. But I obviously love Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween's sick.
Yeah. I love that answer. I love Christmas because I get a fucking break finally. Yeah. I love.
It's not about like the presents or anything. It's just like sitting on the couch and drinking and doing jack shit for a day, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Nice. I like that. And then you get
Mm,
that period between Boxing Day and New Year where no one knows what day it is and no one does anything. You just
so
couch potato
good.
and just do nothing.
So good. And
Yeah.
like you feel guilty doing that any other time, but it's like acceptable in that time. You're
Yeah.
like, I can be a piece of shit in this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It's the
Mhm.
best. I mean, I'm a piece of shit most
So
times,
good.
but you know what can you do? Are
I'm
you
doing
more of
that.
a are you more of a gift giver or a gift receiver on Christmas? What do you prefer?
Gift giver. I love giving gifts and I'm like nearly competitive about it of
Okay.
being like, yeah, here's like a really good gift. But then like for me, I don't really want anything. Like I'm pretty self-sufficient with stuff. So like I'm not like don't really want anything or care about that. What
Yeah.
about you?
I'm exactly the same. I love giving gifts. Like I pride myself on giving someone like the best gift
Yeah.
that they've ever gotten, and they're just like, "How did you think to get me this?" Like I love that shit. But in terms of me, people are like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like, "I'm good." Like if you have to get me something,
Yeah.
get me a cool pair of socks or something. Like I'm
And it's
totally good with it.
uncomfortable as well. You're like getting the present, you're like, cool, I've got this thing,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Whereas you want it to be all about the other person.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm like
Mm.
anything that I'm like hyper fixated on or like a massive fan on, I'll probably just get it myself. Like I'm cool. I don't need someone to get it for me. And if you're gonna
Mm.
try, you probably don't know as much about it as I do, so you're probably not gonna get the thing that I'm looking for. So I'd rather just get it
Yeah,
myself.
it's better if you do it yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I totally
yeah.
get you.
Nice. Go to what's the best Halloween candy?
I'm not really a sweets person, hey. I'm like more savory. Like if I have to pick something,
Which you do.
it's not a Halloween candy. I'm just gonna say like
Okay.
cheesecake's mad. Like if I have to pick like a sweet thing. It's really weird with sugar. I can't have like cocktails or like sugary drinks or anything because that'll keep me up and give me anxiety more than like caffeine
Right.
will.
Okay.
Yeah, like if I go out, I can do like a vodka soda or a beer. If I have a cocktail, that's me done. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sleeping for the night. So I must have like some sort of sugar sensitivity. But yeah, if I had my choice, I'd just like something savory, like bag of chips or something.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyone in Sydney listening, if you see this young lady come to your house at Halloween saying trick or treat, make sure you get a cheesecake there. All right?
Yeah, an entire cheesecake
Yeah.
plays like a whole
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that'd
love
be
that.
sick. Be so
vibe.
happy.
Um, if you could tattoo anyone from history, dead or alive, who would you tattoo? And bonus question, what would you tattoo on them if you got free reign?
Ernest Hemingway immediately. That was a really easy rapid fire question. I think he's the coolest person alive. Do you know much about Ernest Hemingway?
I have heard the name before, but I have no idea who it is. But I've definitely heard the name before.
Author and journalist, but just like the most insane life. He like nearly died 5 times. He nearly died in an airplane crash twice. I've got
Okay.
the Ernest Hemingway autism. I think he's so interesting. And then he died cleaning his shotgun. Accidentally shot himself. Pretty dark. But really, really interesting guy. And I think that guy would have some interesting tattoo ideas. I'd love to
Mhm.
tattoo him.
Yeah. What would you
I think
tattoo
he'd
on
be
him?
a dick. I don't know, probably like a gun or like an airplane commemoration tattoo of some kind.
I
I
was
feel like
gonna,
he'd have some better ideas than I would.
I was gonna jokingly say, would it be a shotgun, just like irony?
The
But
guns
yeah,
on the hips or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he'd be a dick of a client though, but I'd be
Okay.
okay with
In
it
what
because I'd be
sense?
tattooing. Very opinionated, very annoying
Okay.
client, I reckon for sure.
Yeah,
But
but
it'd be
then
worth it.
you tattooed him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd be like, he was my worst client, but I got to tattoo him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
When did he die roughly? Like 10 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago,
Oh, I
5 years
would
ago.
at least like 30 to 40, 30 to 50 years ago or something. Like this is
Okay.
like an old timey
Yeah,
writer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. I don't know why I said like 5, 10 years ago. I feel like if like a famous author had a shot themselves with a shotgun while cleaning, I probably would have heard about it if it was 5 to 10 years ago. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Unless it's in America because that happens to people all the
Yeah,
time.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Hmm.
Suck shit, America, third world country. Um,
Such a-
Last rapid fire question. If you could have any animal as a pet, and in this situation you've got the perfect like environment and like property and all of that ready for them to
Hmm.
live in, and they're friendly with you, they're not aggressive towards you, what animal would you want to have?
Oh. Like as much as I'd like to say anything like crazy, I really just would like just like a
Golden
basic
retriever
little
or
like
something?
nah, like a really ugly dog, like a Frenchie or like a little Griffin
Okay.
or something. My partner and I love those dogs, like just
Okay.
ugly little tiny things.
Hmm.
I just like that. Maybe like a few of them if I had like a big enough property, just have like 10 of those around the place.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm boring. I just want a dog, man.
Fair enough.
Or
Fair.
like or like a really ugly hairless cat as well. Those guys are
I
great
can't
too.
stand those. I love cats, but I can't do it. My missus always says she wants to get one. I'm like, I will throw it in
Yeah.
the bin. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
not doing it.
you'll learn to love it because they have the nicest dispositions. Do you have cats already?
I've got one cat and he's a big fluffy boy.
Yeah. So what's his like personality like?
He's so chill. Like I'm sure that those hairless cats are like the most chill cats and lovely
Yeah.
cats. But the texture, I can't touch them. I can't do it. It's disgusting.
It'd be like a sensory nightmare. You'd be like, I
Yeah,
want to love you, but I don't want you
yeah,
anywhere near
yeah. I
me.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They
That's
look like
fair.
aliens.
Yeah. I see I love anything that's like kind of ugly looking, so
Okay.
I'd love it. I'll take the hairless cats. You keep the big hairy guy.
Um, all right, those are the rapid fire questions. Super rapid. I've got a would you rather for you. Do you have a would you rather question or not?
uh Hit me
You
with
don't.
what you've got. Let's hear it. No, let's
Okay.
hear it.
Okay. My one is: would you rather have a private jet for 1 year? You can go anywhere you want. You've got someone to fly you wherever you want, whenever you want.
Mm.
You've got it. Or you get two first class flights per year for the rest of your life, return flights, but you only get two. That's it.
Two first class return flights twice a year. Or I've got to. Do I have to drive the private jet or someone
No,
else's?
you've got someone to fly you wherever you want, but you only get that for 1 year.
Oh, yeah. Two first class flights twice a year.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, if it's only twice a year, that's still plenty of travel.
Yeah. You can choose
Yeah.
two places you want to go first class and
Yeah,
all good.
I'd rather space it out and do 2 trips a year than like burn myself out and try to do the world in like
Hmm.
1 year.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had your two first class flights this year, where would you be going?
Um, First class. Uh,
Bali and
Probably
Adelaide.
Iceland.
Yep.
Hey, what was that?
Bali and Adelaide.
Oh yeah. I have no interest in going to Bali. Uh, no, Iceland for sure to see like the Northern Lights and just like all
Okay.
the just cool shit there. Maybe like a weird past part of like Eastern Europe. Maybe like I don't know, like Russia or Transylvania or something. Something
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
What about you? I'll hit you with the same would you rather and then places that
Okay.
you'd want to go to.
I think I'd go the two first class flights as well. As nice as it would be having a private jet, just living luxury for a year. Um, there's like I want to travel, but there's not that many places that I would want to travel that I would like just have have use for it for a whole year. So I'd go to, and I reckon the first two places I'd want to go to the US, but again, there's a certain someone there that I just do not fuck with, and I'm not going anywhere near there. So outside of the US, I'd want to go Canada,
Canada would be sick.
and probably South Africa, partly because my partner is South African, and also I've kind of just always wanted to go to South Africa.
Mm.
So that would be interesting. She doesn't really want to go back because she thinks it's too dangerous, but I'd like to go. So I think South Africa and Canada.
Yeah, I think Canada for sure. I can agree with you on that one. That would be sick. Such a beautiful looking country and like really safe from what I've heard as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I like it. Cool. All right. Thank you very much for joining the podcast. I
It felt
appreciate
so
it.
quick.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
And we've had no
powered
technical
through.
issues either because the power of editing. So,
Yeah, it was fun.
yeah, exactly. If you want to look into the camera and tell people where they can find you online, how they can book with you, and anything else that you've got going on that you want to plug.
Sure. So you can book with me online and you can find all the info that you need via celiadunne.com. So yeah, just celiadunne.com. Otherwise, my Instagram, celiadunne_tattoos. I'm based in Sydney, but I'm frequently traveling kind of everywhere. So I'm like guesting around Australia, or you can find international guest spots on my page. I will plug this sick shirt that I designed recently with RTLA. He was at the Perth convention that I first met you at as well. He does like a lot of really good collabs with artists around the world, and I was lucky enough to do a collab with him recently. Got this big baggy kind of oversized fit shirt here that you can buy at the moment via his site. And we want to do some collabs in the future. So there will be some jumpers, maybe some hats coming as well. But that's kind of all I've got to plug at the moment. Yeah. Just
Fire.
booking a tattoo. Please, booking a tattoo.
Awesome. That's your
Yeah.
main in for 2026 is booking tattoos with you. So
Yeah, man. Please.
happy days. Happy days. Well, if I'm ever over, I would say your side of Australia or wherever you are in the world, I'll do my best to come get tatted by you.
I appreciate it.
So we'll see how we go. But I've never been to Sydney before, and to be honest, I don't really have any reason to want to go there. Much like Bali, too expensive. I'm good.
I'm Bali's cheap, isn't it?
Oh no, but Sydney's
Yeah.
expensive,
But
and Bali's
yeah.
just not my thing. So
No, not at all. I'm in Perth in April, but
okay.
I'll probably be in Perth more often than you'll be in Sydney. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, no worries. Well, maybe when you're in Perth, I'll try take a trip down for a couple of days, and I'll try get a tatty by you if you've got any room left in your bookings.
Hell yeah. We'll figure something out for sure.
Hell yeah!
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for being on. I appreciate it. Make sure you go cop some merch and check out. I didn't know you had a website. There you go. Check out the website. Book in some tatties. Go show some love and support. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Thanks for being so patient during this break. check out more of the podcast, fitgpod.com, and Instagram at fitg_podcast, also on TikTok. Thanks for the love and support. Appreciate you. We'll leave it there. And remember, be careful when you clean your shotguns. See you later, guys.
Moral of the podcast.